My $13 valve cover came off of eBay today. We're gonna use a rag and clean as much of this crap out of here as I can. And the wrong one came, which it looks like it'll fit. There's 1 and 2, and I didn't pay attention to it because they both look the same. The OHV logo is gonna. Oh no, it's right. Never mind, I got the right one. Because there's a non-fuel pump one for that side. But they should fit either way. It's just the logo might be upside down, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Alright, that'll have to work for now. I'll probably run this motor for a little bit more, and not a whole lot more, and then I'll take the filter out and drain all the oil out and give it fresh oil, fresh filter. Like running, it might just be driving around the yard a couple times. Here I see something that concerns me. There's a hole here, and I'm wondering if the valves are supposed to be oiled by the engine. I'm gonna go have to check the service manual for this thing and see if I can figure out what's going on there. I actually think that idea I just had is stupid, because then this would have a thing with a line going to it. Or especially with oil, it should be done internally. Especially if we can done on one side, it should be able to be done on the other. Let's go check the service manual though, see what's going on with that hole. This might explain it. Disconnect pulse vacuum. I don't know what that vacuum thing is, but disconnect pulse line from crankcase or valve cover. So that valve cover probably came from an engine that had the crank, that did not have the tap for the, you know what I mean. Alright, so valve cover number 2 doesn't have the hole. I'm gonna go take a look at every tag on here for valve cover just to be on the safe side, but I'm probably just gonna use some epoxy and plug that hole. I bought a wrench specifically for the job, but this wrench doesn't have much of a bend here, and there's still just not enough clearance for this thing to get in and bite. The wrench was given me less luck in the socket, and if I use this end, all it does is the wrench kind of starts to bend out, probably because I bought a cheap tractor supply wrench, and this ain't like a good Craftsman or a Snap-on. America Craftsman, not that Chinese crap. Hopefully now I can get it with a socket. I had to use a Sawzall, and my blade bent on me, and I had to hit it from a different angle, but I got her. You know, as much as I don't want to, a desirable exhaust system might have to be came up with this weekend. Because I have to do something there. I can't just plug it. Wish I could. Because of the way the motor is oriented in the tractor, both cylinders are on the same side of the exhaust. So, I might actually do something where both pipes do merge into one, but instead it would be 2 pipes going down, then to the right, and then they both can merge into that big fat fence pipe over there. Sadly, I will need a trip to the hardware store that is way too far away for me to get a tractor to. My JB has welded. Looks good here. Looks good here. We can install this thing again. So I've done some test fitting, and I'm basically going to have to cut off from here to here, so it won't the air shroud. I'll have to do some cutting on the other side too to make that fit. No big deal. This tractor's already half trash, so I'm not afraid to cut stuff off of it. Got the motor about where I want it, and one hole on here actually lines up with a hole on the frame, and there, I don't know, maybe that guy will line up with the frame there too. This guy is going to be a nightmare because the hole didn't really line up with anything, and the holes have to go through the plate and the frame, it looks like. To figure out where I need these holes, I'm gonna put some paint on this bolt, put it down in the thing, let it leave a freaking stain. If anybody remembers this laptop and how I left it out in the rain before and it quit working, everything in the laptop is made of full recovery except for the damn power button. It randomly activates, and if I want to use the laptop for an extended period of time, I have to remember to pop the side of this off and physically disconnect it after turning it on. I need to tear it apart and clean the contacts, because I'm sure that's what's going on. Might have went a little overboard painting the bolts the last 2 holes. The first one came out alright. I tried to change the position of the sun, and now everything's wet. Oh, shit! I hope that air filter isn't wet. Just take that in. There was water dripping out of my laptop, and it's still going. And I left it on all night. Totally forgot about it when I was covering that stuff up at 4 a.m. The plate lines up. Next step is drilling that one extra hole I gotta add over here. Maybe this piece on the right here is a factory, and that's the factory paint job. I actually think I like the newer paint job better. That's kind of a greenish blue, and the original's got a, or this one that I see is sparkly and dark. I like it. That's what we're looking like so far. I need to go to Tractor Supply and get longer versions of these bolts because I'm combining what used to be separate mounts to the plate and separate mounts to the motor. Two of them are the same now. This side, both plate and motor mounts the same. So I need to get a bolt that's a little bit longer to go through the motor too. New problem. These bolts aren't long enough. Oh, and I just got everything lined up. So I gotta get those bolts now. Longer. Bolt berry popped out the block, so I got a slightly longer bolt and some new fitting hardware. Putting this motor on, at least the way I'm doing it, sucks, but I'm almost there. And I did intentionally spill oil there as a rust preventative. And finally I got a vice grip on that nut that I can't get anything on. And I'm gonna go back behind here and I'm just gonna twist, if I even can. We're gonna hope I can. Alright, so now I just gotta go to Tractor Supply and get a belt that'll fit. Oh, and I still have to cut the front of the hood up to make it fit. But I want to see this thing driving because it's important looking pretty, so we gotta go get a new belt. They did not sell the belt size they need at Tractor Supply, so I'm 1 inch bigger, and I've modified. Oh shit! Shit, that won't work! Ah! I'd have to have another one down here to make that work. Oh, damn it! So it was getting dark and I reset the sun again, and now the weather looks really weird. I should quit resetting the sun. Lion cat. So yesterday today before I reset the sun ended with me doing some more hardware store runs. I bought like $20 worth of elbows and some conduit. It's the same size as the headers on here, and they all fit in the elbows. And we're gonna make the pipe go out. We're gonna make it go down. We're gonna make it go under, and they're both gonna join into one big piece of fence pipe over there. And there's gonna be a central exhaust pipe that comes out, and if I can bend it, maybe even comes up. I could put a flapper on it, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. So I had that pulley here that did nothing because it was a flat pulley, and yeah, you saw that. I think I recorded a video of that, how that just didn't work. Well, now I've got a V-pulley, which means it can push down like this. This used to be in the transmission of the redneck mower. This is going to go here. But I need the re-drill tap die, whatever, pull. Also, I'm not sure how I'd pull it off, but down the road when I'm actually doing the build-off competition thing, I'd like to have the transmission not be mounted here, and this to be the bottom out position, and have the transaxle where it's kind of hinged where it mounts close to a point over here, so there's travel to the rear. And I'd like the front to have suspension too, but I'd also like the back to have suspension. And this would be reasonable, because if I hinged it close to the front point, when this moves up and down, the belt distance will stay the same with over here. So yeah, that would work, kinda, maybe, hopefully. Now, even though I want to do this, I probably won't, just because of the fact I don't trust the welds with my welder, and I don't want to build something that's going to be weaker than the stock. And I know if I try welding together something, it'll be weaker than stock. Here's a little progress update. I have not dealt with the lower belt guides, and we're starting to have some exhaust going on here. I'm not going to weld the conduit in these parts because it seems to attach pretty well by twisting. So, I mean, it's not going anywhere, so I'm just going to do that instead of blow holes through it. Let's see if I can weld that to make bends in the pipe. Well, believe it or not, there's actually one of my better welding experiences. I can weld conduit really well. I will not be buying elbows anymore. I shall make my own. You know, this bit here almost looks like a real weld. A lot of it don't, though. But a little section of it does. I'm getting better at welding conduit. I've made a little more progress, but then the progress stopped because I ran out of welding wire. So we're going to tractor supply. As long as oil doesn't start dripping out, the rest of the welding will be done with the engine like this. Oh, hey, there's a belt guide here. There's a destroyed belt guide over here. And I can just weld something over here. On the end of the bolt. They'll just come over and branch down and put some bolts in the engine. I'll have belt guides. Thinking about how to route this, I'd like the pipe to be centered, but it hits awfully low because of the transmission. I might have to take it off to the side, which would make me not regret making it so ridiculously big. I'm actually happy, so happy at how that came out. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. Oh god, the headache. That's oil mud hybrid. I might need to change the transmission oil at some point. If that's on the outside, it's probably on the inside. And also, there's a bolt lodged in here. What? Ah! I'm liking what I'm seeing. That's how the pipe's gonna run. Those guys just need to be extended. This pipe's probably gonna come back more like this. Those guys are gonna go down in here. I'm gonna smash this pipe oblong, put these in here and smash them over as good as I can, weld it over, and I guess fill the gap with JB Weld high temperature epoxy, because I bought some, because I knew I'd need some in this project. This pipe is turning out to be quite perfect for this job. I guess it could be a little bit smaller, but I probably wouldn't be able to get the stuff to line up if there's any smaller. This'll work. We're really getting there. Just gotta make one more piece. And this one's gonna be the hardest one because it's gotta fit around this piece and go in here. In fact, I probably should have tried making one of those bend pieces I made work here, because then it wouldn't be as hard to make this go. Well, it's getting too dark to weld, but I welded everything that I can actually weld from the bottom side. I just need to flip this thing over and get the welds on the top side. I really like how this looks, honestly, even underneath. Pretty proud of myself. Yeah, welding's only going to stick the edges on here. I'm definitely going to have to fill in the gaps with that JB Weld putty, high temperature stuff. We'll do that tomorrow. I want to see how this thing sounds. So we got some exhaust leaks. Yeah. And an oil trying to leave the head of the engine. I really hate Kohler. On top of more than half the stuff on here being metric, I put this on backwards because you can put it on backwards apparently. And I went to go put it on right. And well, my screw went down here. Now it's lodged in the fan. I have to take all this stuff off to get this thing off, just to get the screw up, because they're stupid gravity fed be a jerk, I hate you Kohler design. This carburetor seems to have an issue with flooding out the engine when it's sitting around. Temporary fix would be a fuel shutoff valve. Permanent fix, entirely replace the carburetor. And it's still too flooded. That battery pack's got a green light, good charge. That is some excessive compression. Yeah, I hope this Kohler doesn't end up being more trouble than the original motor that's on it. But so far, I've had to do more to this Kohler than I had the original motor. You know, the original motor ain't original. Yeah, I see a lot of leaks over here. That thing is loud though. That thing is loud. The next part will be actually getting everything all buttoned up and looking nice. You know, I think that thing will end up being drivable by tomorrow. End of the day tomorrow, should be driving.